how to attract qualified leads through your ad messaging. And look, I know that most of you out there have sales teams who are complaining about lead quality. Maybe you're running a webinar, you have book calls, but you're just wondering why the leads that you're getting in there don't give you an ROAS like 8.4 that we had for one of our last webinars that we've been running. Okay. And this is like ad messaging is the thing that most agencies, most high ticket owners, most high ticket offers get completely wrong because it's the biggest bottleneck that you have. If you know how to scale, cold webinars or cold high ticket funnels, whether it's a call funnel or whatever, you basically have the blueprint to print money. But your messaging is everything. It's your biggest bottleneck. It determines which leads you're getting into your pipeline. So make sure you have this dialed in, okay? Because if your messaging isn't dialed in, everything else that you're going to do doesn't matter. So today we're going to talk about how to increase conversion rates, how Post-Andromeda messaging actually works, how your sales team will love you after you've implemented these changes from this video, okay? And how to run profitable cold funnels, whether it's a webinar funnel, whether it's a low-ticket funnel, whether it's a book a call funnel, okay? Who you should actually talk to, how to talk to them, what an ad matrix is and why you need this, okay? And why you need under research, at least 2 to 3 hours before you even starting your cold funnel. And yeah, some words to me. Why should you trust me? Why should you listen to me? Well, we've hosted couple of webinars in the past, couple of call funnels in the past for our clients. And in the last months, we've cracked the code towards cold and just achieved a 8.4 ROAS on a webinar that has generated us 167,000 in 1 month, one single webinar, okay? And in the past, we've seen pretty strong show-up rates for our cold webinars, strong engagement, as you can see, even stronger show-up rates for warmer webinars, strong engagement during a completely cold campaign. And we've just implemented ad messaging changes, as you can see in the past, that took one of our clients' webinars cost per lead from 13 as it was before, as you can see, right? Then we implemented one change and we brought it down to 9. And now currently we're sitting at a 5.9 cost per lead. So we've effectively kind of halved our cost per lead for this client just through messaging changes. And also, yeah, we've doubled our cost per acquisition. Well, here's the thing. That most people actually get wrong when it comes to cold high ticket funnels. And here's the difference that determines a 2.6 ROAS webinar or call funnel. I'm saying webinar here because we do mostly webinars, but obviously call funnels are also working pretty similar. And here's the difference to 8.4 ROAS webinar or call funnel, okay? Well, most people get it completely wrong. They think they need the best show-up sequence, they need the best presentation, the best landing pages, best sales team management, okay, or complex automations in the back end, complex workflows in Go High Level, in Zapier, whatever, in Make, okay. But they completely keep out of sight that the most important thing that determines a high ROAS is who you're getting into this funnel. This is essentially, the lead quality is your biggest bottleneck, okay? So here's how we've achieved 8.4x ROAS webinars. We've done angle research, persona research, and we've kept our ad messaging congruent, okay? And their entire funnel messaging congruent based on the research. Well, the Post-Andromeda meta updates has changed everything, to be honest, okay? Our creatives determine our targeting and determine our lead quality. We need to ask who we want to get into this funnel, okay? And if our lead quality sucks, if maybe we're getting in a lot of people, but none of them buys, okay? None of them actually converts, and your sales team keeps complaining about low quality leads. Yes, sometimes this is also a sales team problem, but this is another thing. We as marketers, or we as the high ticket offer owner, we're also responsible in this, okay? Because we determine what leads you're getting in there. And this is essentially true for cold webinars where you can, or cold funnels, where you can more or less determine the entire messaging, right? And you're not dependent on the content that you've done in the past. And if your lead quality sucks, your show up sequence doesn't matter, your booked call sequence doesn't matter, and your closes don't matter that much, okay? Because if the leads that you're getting in there, yeah, sure, you can squeeze out some juice, but essentially you want to get in qualified people to give your show up sequences, your book calls, your presentation, your sales team the highest leverage they can do. Just a small Bible verse there: give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you. I think you get what I want to say with this, right? Well, now, who do we actually want to talk to? So before every webinar, before every funnel that you're essentially doing, you want to determine this. You want to know who you want to talk to. Because if you're talking to everyone, you're essentially talking to no one, right? And who are the people who are actually getting you the highest ROAS, or who are converting, okay, who are actually buying this stuff? I believe that all of you have heard about the 5 levels of awareness, okay? By the way, no one is giving credit to who they actually come from. Eugene Schwartz, pretty expensive book, but amazing book, Breakthrough Advertising, okay? This is where essentially the ideas of 5 awareness level has emerged from, okay? Well, the thing is, there are 5 levels of awareness, essentially. And I always want to emphasize the borders are flowing. There are no strict borders, okay? So there are unaware people, problem-aware people, solution-aware people, product-aware people, and most aware people. And most people are not aware which people they should actually talk to, okay? And this is what we're going to change right now. Well, first of all, who are unaware people? Unaware people are people who know they have a problem, okay? Who don't know they have a problem. They're completely unaware. Maybe they're browsing for entertainment, or maybe they even have thoughts like, oh, I'm always broke at the end of the month, but I don't know why. And this isn't a problem for them, okay? Well, they're basically just there. And I would highly recommend you to stay away from these people, because there's no pain that you can dive into. There's no problem that they currently have or are aware of, okay? And you will have the highest sales friction, because you need to sell them on the problem, which could be their 9 to 5, their current situation, pain. I'm really generally speaking here. This can highly vary from what kind of offer you're actually pitching and what niche you're in. You need to sell them on the solution, which is the business model, the niche, the dream, the big opportunity, and on the product yourself. So on your product, basically on your high ticket product, you need to handle their objections, introduce proof, authority, and also you need to sell the situation and the now, why now is the best choice, okay? And this is essentially something that you need to understand before you start with any webinar or any funnel. Don't target these people, because as you can see over there, your pushing force needs to be immensely high, and you're kind of battling an immense friction over there, okay? So make sure you stay away from these people if you want to get motion, okay? Or if you want to make money, to be honest. Then there are the problem-aware people. Problem-aware people know they have a problem, but they don't know the solution, okay? They know they need an online income, or they want to leave their 9 to 5, or they want to make money without trading hours, or they want to be a successful business owner. Whatever the problem is there, okay? The current situation doesn't allow them to do that, so this is basically the problem. And why did I put Iman Gaji in there? I'm just going to explain it in a second, okay? And problem-aware people are already more aware than unaware people. Makes sense, right? Then there are solution-aware people. Solution-aware people know solutions to their problems exists, but they still haven't chosen one for any reason, okay? Maybe they're already sold on e-commerce, for example, okay? So on the opportunity of e-commerce is growing 20% every year. Amazon is the biggest marketplace out there. I don't know, like 300 billion demand on there every single year, stuff like that, okay? but they're maybe not sold on your exact business model. Could be Amazon FBA. Maybe they know about drop shipping and know about private label, whatever, but not about Amazon FBA. Okay. Or you could even say these people think that maybe other business models are the solution to their problems, or they are at least aware of other solutions, which could be SaaS, AI apps, AI agency, SMMA, or growth operating, how they call it recently, right? By the way, I'm not a growth operator. I'm just a regular guy, okay? Or trading or whatever could be the solution to their problems, right? They are aware of a bunch of different solutions. And as I always want to say, there are no strict borders. People could be aware of the opportunity as a solution. They could be aware of the business model of a solution, or they could even be aware of your exact business model that you're already teaching, but haven't chosen it yet. All right. Okay. And this is essentially what we want to do. So as you can see, this guy with the key over there, he's standing in front of a couple of different doors, which could be solutions, but hasn't chosen one yet. All right. So what you want to do there in this kind of messaging is you want to throw rocks at enemies. So throw rocks at other opportunities. Why is e-commerce better than trading, essentially, in your opinion? Okay. Explain your business model. What makes Amazon FBA different from dropshipping? For example, okay, we actually own inventory or own products, and we're not sourcing crappy products from China and burning money on ads, stuff like that, right? Just some examples, okay? Explain the vehicle. They don't know about your product yet. Explain your product. You also need to sell them on your product, okay? And on your unique approach or method. So what makes your message, your method of doing Amazon FBA unique? Okay, this is what you want to sell them on. All right, but they are already much more aware than problem-aware people, because they're already actively looking for solutions. Okay, their awareness level is completely different, and they might be already sold on your industry and even on your business model. Okay, you just need to sell them your unique position. Well, then there are product-aware people, and I don't know why I did remove this, but I'm just gonna break it down right now. Product-aware people are people who are aware of your product, but for any reason they didn't buy yet, okay? So they might know that you're already selling a high-ticket e-commerce course or mentorship or coaching or whatever your high-ticket product might be, but for any reason they didn't buy it. So you need to really break their limiting beliefs, break their objections, and highly introduce proof, authority, and whatever. So this is basically what you want to do over here, is back them up with a lot of objection handling. Okay, objection handling. Why can they do it? Why can they do it? Why will it work for them? Why will it work for them? Back it up with massive proof. And what sets you apart from all those other guys in the industry? Okay, this is essentially what you want to do. You want to sell them now on your product. They're already sold on the business model. They already sold on the industry. Sell them on the product. Okay. And then there are most aware people. Most aware people are ready to buy, but they just need a certain nudge. They need to be sold on the now. Okay. This nudge could be a webinar, for example. If you have people in your pipeline, this is why we always say webinars are great to hoover leads and revive leads that are already in your pipeline but didn't buy yet because of any reason. And they need to be sold on a situational event, an opportunity, okay? This could also be a discount or a special bonus. For example, you're adding additional value in there. You're adding another mechanism. You're adding another template. You're adding a free one-on-one onboarding call with you, or you keep working with them one-on-one if they fulfill their requirements. You guarantee them results, or you even have a 7-day refund with no questions asked, whatever, and they might buy, okay? This is where you apply scarcity, urgency, situational things, a special summer discount, or stuff like that, right? And this is also where you want to break, again, limiting beliefs why they didn't buy it, okay? Well, the thing with cold webinars is I see a lot of people talking about go for this part, go for the most aware people, go for the product aware people. This is where the real money is. And I agree. Yeah, this is. But keep in mind, depending on your scale, And if you actually want to scale, there's only a certain part, a certain percentage of these people in the market, and probably it isn't that high, because most of the people won't be aware of you when you're running cold. They won't be aware even less of your product, and there are even less most aware people. So this is the part when you're hosting your first, second, third webinars, whatever, you want to sweep the entire liquidity from there. Okay. So you want to really focus on them, do retargeting campaigns for people who interacted with your Instagram profile, for example, who've seen your lead. This is perfect for you when you're still in that stage. But when you really want to scale beyond that audience, and when you have already kind of squeezed the entire juice out of this audience, you should probably not focus on them, because there aren't that many people. Okay. Well, anything else that I had there? Yeah, they are not the formula to scale. Okay. They're hot leads already, but there aren't that many of them. Okay. Depending on your audience size, of course. Well, then who should we actually talk to if it's not the most aware and not product aware people, at least? Problem aware people. Well, here's the problem of problem-aware people. When you're talking to problem-aware people, let's go back, who know they have a problem but not the solution. I need online income. I want to leave my 9 to 5. I want to make money without trading hours. Okay, you're essentially competing with all of these guys over there. Maybe you know them, all right? And you're essentially competing with every single business model, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's an AI agency, whether it's marketing, brand scaling, whether it's trading, or whatever else is out there. And those people maybe might have much better resources or budgets than you to target these people. They already have massive social proof. Okay. So this is the problem of problem-aware people. You need to sell them the opportunity first. Okay, this is the problem. You need to sell them your business model and your unique opportunity. Why is it the solution to their problems right now? Okay. Obviously, you can do this. We also do this sometimes. Okay. We also do this with a lot of our campaigns, to be honest. We did it in the past. But the problem here is when we're talking about e-commerce, they maybe not even know what e-commerce is or why it's such a big opportunity. They aren't warm at all. They're just looking for a way to change their situation. They're prone to a shiny object syndrome. Oh, trading. Oh, e-commerce. Oh, this work. But they aren't that invested first, okay? And this is what adds massive, massive, massive friction to your buying process, because this opportunity is the friction. Just think about it. If we could remove this friction by having them already sold on the opportunity or on your business model, people who are already into e-commerce, who are already watching e-commerce videos, people who are already tried maybe drop shipping but failed, and they know that e-commerce is the thing for them, but for any reason it didn't work out. How much easier would it be to convince them of your unique system? Okay. And remember, I'm just using e-commerce here as an example. This is like true for everything. Okay. But you need to do the thinking. You need to do the brain work really to find out, okay, which people do I actually want to talk to? And we're going to get into this right in a second, how we actually structure our entire ads right now. Okay. So for cold campaigns at scale, I would recommend target solution-aware to product-aware people. And remember, solution-aware people are a sweet spot, okay? They are far more scalable than product-aware people or than most aware people. And they have far less buying friction than problem-aware people, because they already know solutions, okay? They are aware of solutions. They are looking actively for solutions. And I want all of you, before now people start saying, no, bro, solution aware is far too less aware for everything. I want to make clear that there are different solution awareness levels, okay? And this is just a framework. There's so different awareness level for people that we can't assess, okay? Think of psychology. How do you want to actually measure such a awareness level, okay? And this is why, for example, the opportunity could be the solutions for them. E-commerce or your business model could be the solution. Amazon FBA or your unique approach could be the solution. I don't know what, direct to brand Amazon FBA or whatever it is. Okay. This is it basically. And these are the different solution awareness levels that you can take advantage of. These are the exact leads that we're targeting and how we've seen such great numbers on our last webinars, and how we've also essentially, this is the main change that we did. We started targeting solution aware people and kind of halved, okay, our cost per result just by including solution aware people, right? The thing is, how do we actually talk to them then? We know we should target solution aware people, but how do we target them with our ads? Well, messaging is the new targeting, okay? I think all of you have heard about the Meta-Andromeda update. I won't bore you right now, but just for those of you who don't know, Andromeda is the new AI-driven delivery engine that Meta has, and has basically replaced the targeting first, okay, with a creative first matching system. So instead of choosing narrow audiences where you have like essentially one ad set per ad creative, we look at creatives. Meta looks at our creatives. We do a bunch of creative testing, and Meta, like $1 trillion tech company, which has so many data points, it really knows everything. Wherever you click, right, takes a data point, looks for who's most likely to convert based on your conversion event. If you're running a call funnel, or if you're running a whatever webinar funnel, this might be people hitting the registration page, the confirmed page, I mean. So basically the registered page. So basically leads. So you would probably optimize for leads or whatever conversion event you're using there, okay? Now, what do we do? How do we actually take advantage of this new Andromeda update? We put all of our creatives in one ad set. Okay, and I know you've heard this, but I'm just going to break down right now. And yeah, also statics and video ads. I know a lot of people talking about, yeah, you should exclude statics and make a different ad set because Meta optimizes for the lowest cost per result. I agree, but in our campaigns, for example, maybe I can show this to you. I don't know if I've got it over here. We've seen that one video ad, this one, for example, has actually achieved us the lowest cost per result, okay? And this is because we're giving Meta a bunch of different vehicles, a bunch of different creative forms, basically video and static ads, to test. And Meta, as $1 trillion company, decides what works best, okay? Well, we then feed this ad sets to a broad audience with tons of different creatives, 20 to 30 different creatives, okay? And we go broad. Yeah, you could, for example, just target US companies or Europe or whatever. We normally do this as well, or a certain age. This is something you can still adjust. But essentially, you want to go broad, okay? And then what we also do, and what I would highly recommend you to do, is we set up the conversion API. Well, the thing is that there are two ways of tracking. There's the metapixel and there's the conversions API. The metapixel fires events from the user's browser, okay? It's basically like a JavaScript. And the problem with the metapixel is it can be blocked by the new iOS 14 plus update. And cookies can be blocked or deleted, and people with ad blockers block your metapixel. That's why the conversions API sends directly from your server, whatever you're using, for example, okay? And this way it is more accurate, so around 25% more accurate, okay? And we also have automatic event deduplication in there. This is just some tech talk, guys, but believe me, it's very, very, very important to make sure your data is accurate, because your data is the main thing that you want to use to actually optimize your campaign and learn from. And if your data tracking is bullshit, yeah, your data will be bullshit too, and the decisions you will do will also be bullshit. So make sure you set up the conversions API and have automatic event deduplication. And if you need help with this, or if you want us to come in there and implement this for you in 1 or 2 hours, just reach out, okay? Well, then once we've done this, it's actually time to get to the source of this video. And I wanted to keep this a bit in the back of this part, right? So a bit in the mid of this video, to make sure only people who are actually committed see this. Well, here's exactly what we do when we have a new client and we actually want to, first of all, determine who we want to talk to. This is exactly how we do our ad messaging. And I'm actually going to show you the exact Google Sheet over there. So as you can see, this is for an e-commerce example. What we're doing right now, we're doing research, market research. you basically getting in everything that you know about your ICP. And then you think about who could be solution aware, who could be a bit more in market. Okay. Let's talk about e-commerce right now. Let's say we're selling Amazon FBA, for example. Okay. Well, we could have people who got burned by other e-com courses. Okay. Then we could have people who already tried arbitrage, private label selling, but it didn't work out. We could have drop shippers who failed at drop shipping. They already, all of them are sold on e-commerce and might be aware of Amazon FBA. We could target, this is a different thing, that's why I marked it this way, affluent demographic. So with something like got around 5K to invest, I can teach you how to turn a 5K inventory into a 5-figure Amazon business. For example, these are ad hooks, then more or less. Some testing there. These are not the exact hooks we've used, but just some ideas of what angles to go for. Okay, we could go with Amazon sellers who struggling with suppliers, Amazon sellers with product problems. We could talk to people who are already sold on e-commerce but not on wholesale. This is how to get ahead of 99% of e-commerce sellers. Sick of e-commerce models requiring you to be a marketing genius. Okay, having an objection instantly there. Or we could target people who are already binge watching YouTube tutorials. So something like, okay, you're already binge watching all that Amazon FBA tutorials, but what has that actually done? Nothing, right? Of course, because YouTube puts you in the wrong consumer mindset, and so on and so on and so on. And then once we've got all our personas determined there, and there are far more personas, by the way, guys, we determine the angles. And this is where I see most people fail. Like literally, I see so many people who just go after student proof. Just go after case study or testimonials. But maybe you need to talk to these people in a different way. Just remember, all of us are individual. And something that works for you might not work for other people. So we also go with uncertainty. Learn the wholesale product selection method, for example, or frustration. Struggling with very thin margins on Amazon for dropshippers, for example. Okay, or we going with the old versus new broken model angle. I love this one. This is basically why your old model was crap and why you should go with the new one. 90% of e-commerce courses are complete bullshit. Here's exactly why 90%. This one went pretty well, by the way. Fail. Or we go with the dream outcome. Okay, for example, what do we have over there? Imagine knowing the Amazon product is a guaranteed winner. Guys, I want you to understand that this messaging is intentionally chosen that way. Like, imagine knowing your Amazon product is a guaranteed winner. This is already talking to people who might be selling on Amazon, or who might have written down some product ideas, or who you're driving through town thinking about, well, if I sold this product on Amazon, this would be fire. Okay. So people who are already more aware of the entire opportunity of the solution. So someone who's just looking to, I want to leave my 9 to 5 might not be that aware. And this is why that ad isn't talking to them. And the genius thing is here, as I said, to also call out affluent demographics. So people, okay, you might already be working a 9 to 5. Okay, you've got that sick corporate career. Everything's going well. You've got a stable income, but does it actually fulfill your dream? This is how it's problem aware, yeah. But this is how we're actually targeting a more affluent demographic. And this is why we, for example, split test problem and solution aware angles with each other. I will just break it down in a second. But this is essentially how we're doing our creatives. And as you can see, a lot of angles. What is it? Like 6 times 8 or stuff like that. 48 different ads that we can just get from this matrix, and there's so much more stuff that we can do. By the way, if you want to get the exact metrics layout that I'm using, DM me metrics on Instagram. I'm gonna put my Instagram link in the description. Hit me up there. I'm going to send you the exact metrics that we're using. Well, once we've done that, it's time to pick the best angles for each persona. I didn't choose every angle in there because not every angle worked for every persona. And you need to make sure they work with each other, okay? And then write the copy by hand. Please, guys. Literally, we've done so much ad research and we see so many ads that are written by Claude. Okay, so basically just, let's say something like not dropshipping, not e-commerce, just Amazon. Okay, this is sounds so much like AI, and people aren't stupid. If someone talks this way, they will notice. And also, if you're writing copy for your clients, for example, you want to make sure this is dialed in. Okay, it doesn't look like Claude has written it. So write at least the first 4 to 5 sentences, which is the hook, with hand. I don't know what prompts you're using if you're thinking that Claude can outperform a good brain, but right now didn't work for us that well. Yeah, we're writing our emails with AI, of course, a lot of stuff with AI, but ads are the most, as I said, the biggest bottleneck, and you want to make sure this is dialed in. Okay. And it also is fun, like just a lot of creative testing. Okay. Then set up 1 to 2 ad sets with at least 20 to 30 creatives in there. As you can see, we have a less aware and more aware ad set. The reason for this is simple, and you can see they have pretty different cost per results. Yeah, you can say, okay, guys, why didn't you put all of your ads in one ad set? You have an inflated cost per result, and maybe that's true. If you have data proving this, I'm going to come back to you and adapt your message, adapt your approach. But why we're essentially doing this way is that Meta optimizes for the lowest cost per lead, right? And we don't essentially want to optimize for cost per lead, because our lead event is our registration for right now. I'm later going to break down how you can also change the conversion event to purchase, but right now is our registration, because we don't have that much data yet. Okay, so our ads, like for example, if you've got around 5K to invest, will target a much higher quality, target much higher quality leads, but it will lead to a higher cost per lead, because there aren't that many people out there who've got 5K to invest, or a lot of people will click off. Okay, will fuck our click-through rate, for example. And this is why our ads, like if you've got around 5K to invest, will lead to a higher cost per lead. This is double, yeah, by the way. But we actually want to optimize for cost per acquisition. All right. Cost per lead is a good indicator, but what actually matters is the cost per acquisition. So people who actually buy our products. Okay. And this is why we ideally want to create 2 different ad sets. This is what we do. We're putting the ads, like if you've got around 5K to invest, if you're already a business owner, stuff like that, right? We're putting them in the more aware ad set to make sure that this messaging still comes through, because we're seeing a lot of quality leads come from that messaging, right? And if we would put them together with the less aware people, the lower or cheaper messaging would go through, and the people, Meta would optimize for only people who register, but we actually want people who have money to buy, and that's why we have those 2 ad sets. Okay. Yeah, this is how we basically set this up. Then we have got all the creatives in there. As you can see, 22 ads in there, for example, and a lot of statics, a lot of video ads going through. This one with a pretty strong cost per result. Okay. And this is essentially how we set this up inside of the Meta Ads Manager. Then what we do is we identify the bottlenecks. You've set up your campaign, but I promise you there will be problems, because you don't have the exact setup like we, and also we guys have a lot of problems with our campaigns. And we need to identify the bottlenecks, what's going wrong and what we can do better. For example, I built a custom view and the Ads Manager with basically custom metrics for our team that shows us exactly what we should do and the exact metrics that matter. So basically, this is like the whole performance view with some custom metrics. Cost per result, okay. Then click to conversion rate, okay. So all of the people who clicked, how many did convert? Landing page load rate, how fast is our landing page loading? This is wrong, by the way, because we're split testing something, and also our landing page conversion rate is actually lower. 65% would be amazing, but this is because we're kind of split testing the traffic, and this is why it's not so accurate. I should change this, but since the cost per result is quite good, we're leaving it like this right now. But this just tells us, for example, if we can see if our landing page load rate was really that low, okay, we need to optimize it right now, because 40% who click 50% who click on there drop off because the landing page doesn't load. Okay, this is basically landing page views through clicks, I think. Yeah, and then we see the click-through rate, the impressions, the cost per milli. So how expensive the pot is, where you're fishing in, the link clicks, cost per link click, landing page views, cost per landing page views. Okay, and these are like some custom metrics that you can essentially build in the Meta Ads Manager. It's not that difficult if you want to know how to do that, or if you just want to have the exact ad expert that we're using, the ME ad expert on Instagram, and I'm going to send you over the exact view that we're using. These are not all the metrics we're using, by the way, but essentially you can see there, okay, is the cost per result bad or too high? Where's the problem? Is it the click to conversion rate? Is it the landing page load rate? Is it the landing page conversion rate? Is it the click-through rate? Normally, we also see on some ads a 5% click-through rate. So this tells you about your creative, how good your creative is. Essentially, we could do even better there, to be honest. Okay. And this is like basically giving you the entire data that you need to take good decisions. And now what you should do, not only rely on the meta ads, basically column view, you should also make your complete own tracking sheet and then later determine what went wrong and what you want to optimize for. So what we do, we cross-reference all our attendees, booked calls, and buyers. And first of all, we set up basically like we do this with AI. We put all of our data, all of our spreadsheets, all of our attendees, all of our booked calls, all of our conversions, all of the people who bought. We put all of them in a spreadsheet, right? And then we cross-reference them because we're tracking all the registrations with UTM data, showing us exactly which ad they came from, which campaign they came from, which landing page they came from, because we're split testing different landing pages. I will make another video on that. But basically, we're split testing all the stuff, and then we like kind of based on that, we know, okay, which ads actually lead to conversions, which messaging leads gets us in people that we want. Do we want the people that we're getting in right now? Then we double down on that messaging or remove it, okay? What awareness level are the people on, okay? And then we also could, what we could do is we could install the conversions API on the checkout page to basically track and optimize the pixel later for people who actually buy. This is another stuff. We haven't done it yet right now, but this is like something we keep in mind when we have more data, okay? And then what you want to do, you put in all your data, and what you could basically do, you do the more aware campaign and the less aware campaign. And let's say we spend around 2,500 on the more aware ad set, and 2,500, I would always recommend do it the same amount, by the way, on the less aware ad set. And then we track, for example, okay, we see our unique clicks, let's keep it the same. Our total registrations here was around 250, and let's see over there maybe 400, okay? And then we already know, okay, our cost per registration is far better for the less aware people. But this doesn't matter because we want to optimize for our cost per acquisition. And then we put in all the data that we have. How many people from the less aware campaign actually attended? Yeah, maybe 40, okay? How many people from the, I'd say a bit more. This would be like a cooked show-up rate. Let's say 150, okay? How many people from the more aware campaign actually attended? And then we see something like also 150, or let's say 180. And we know, okay, the show-up rate for them is far better, okay? 72% and 37%, which means more aware people are a bit more invested that are actually the qualified people that we want. But the attendees don't already give us the exact information that we want. We want to go then to book calls, okay, put in the applications for the more aware people, for the less aware people, the book calls for the more aware people, for the less aware people, and then also the closes and the actual cash that we get to determine the ROAS that we get per different awareness level that we've been targeting, or per different messaging. This is exactly what you want to do. And based on that, you're going to take your, make your decisions. Double down on messaging, remove it. And consistent messaging over the entire campaign is key, okay? Make sure your entire funnel copy talks to solution-aware people if you're targeting solution-aware people in your ad messaging. So the preview text of the ads, the ad headlines, the landing page copy, the emails, the sales assets, the show-up copy, the presentation, the follow-up copy, everything needs to be tailored to that messaging. Okay, I see so many people, let's say I'm selling an AI agency. I could say, if I'm talking to problem-aware people, I would probably say something like, learn how I quit my job and build a 7-figure business with ChatGPT. Okay, stuff like that. If I would be targeting more solution-aware people, or in general more qualified leads, or maybe even businesses, I would say how to land $5,000 a month clients with my single prompt agency model, for example. Okay, I don't know what this should be, but just imagine you would go rather on your unique selling position and actually put a real outcome that these people are aware of. And this should be also part of your ads messaging. Oh, well, back to the beginning. Well, make your decisions based on data. Okay, make all of your decisions based on data. Take some time after each event or after every week to kind of look where the bottlenecks are, what the problems are, what message works, and then you scale the shit to the moon. And yeah, this is exactly what we've been doing and how we've been seeing so good results over the past 4 cold webinars. Now, if you want to have help doing that, okay, if you want to have someone like us come in there, take over your entire messaging, make sure we take your ROAS from maybe you're negative, maybe 0, or maybe 3 to 8, for example, as a return on ad spend, and we dial on your messaging with the exact implementation of the theory that I've been teaching you here, then make sure to reach out to me in the DMs or just apply and book a call instantly with me on my website, growinginfo.com. And we guys would be happy to make you some money, all right?